Hello everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today for our session on metrics, dashboards, and decision-making. This is part of the Business Analytics Essentials Certificate Program. Over the next few slides, we'll explore key concepts that will help you make better data-driven decisions, understand how to use dashboards effectively, and measure what matters most. Let's get started. Let's take a closer look at what this presentation will cover today. First, we'll explore an introduction to business analytics, understanding what it is and why it's so vital in today's data-driven world. Next, we'll delve into data foundations and business data types, which are the building blocks for effective analysis. We'll then examine key business metrics and KPIs, the critical indicators that help us measure success and performance. Following that, we'll discuss how data analysis plays a key role in business decision-making, turning raw data into actionable insights. We'll also cover data visualization principles, because presenting data clearly is essential to understanding and communication. Finally, we'll look at building effective dashboards, which are powerful tools for monitoring and decision support. This agenda sets the stage for a comprehensive understanding of how data fuels better business decisions and strategic growth. Let's start with an introduction to business analytics. This is a crucial area that helps organizations make data-driven decisions, ultimately leading to better performance and competitive advantage. Business analytics involves examining data to uncover patterns, trends, and insights that might not be immediately obvious. It's about transforming raw data into meaningful information that can guide strategic actions. When we talk about business analytics, we're really talking about a set of tools and techniques that help us understand what's happening now, why it's happening, and what might happen in the future. This ties into the overall theme of our presentation, which is about leveraging data to improve business outcomes. By mastering business analytics, companies can optimize operations, enhance customer experiences, and identify new opportunities for growth. So, understanding these key points sets the foundation for everything else we'll explore. Let's start with the definition. Business analytics refers to the skills, technologies, and practices that analyze business data to improve decision-making. Basically, it's about using data to make smarter choices in how we run our businesses. Now, why does this matter? Well, in today's economy, which is increasingly driven by data, being able to analyze information is essential for staying competitive. It helps us boost efficiency, enhance customer satisfaction, and ultimately grow revenue. And there's solid evidence to back this up. Firms that leverage analytics are 5 times more likely to make faster decisions than their competitors. This speed and agility can make a huge difference in staying ahead in the market. So, as we move forward, keep in mind that mastering business analytics isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a key driver of success in the modern business landscape. Let's walk through the business analytics lifecycle, focusing on how each stage connects to creating effective analytics solutions. Starting with data discovery, this is where we identify relevant data sources and clearly understand our business objectives. This step helps us set a solid foundation for everything that follows. Next, in data preparation, we clean, transform, and organize that data to ensure its quality and consistency. Good data is crucial because poor data can lead us astray later on. Moving into model planning, we select the right analytical methods and plan our approach based on what our business needs. This strategic step guides the entire modeling process. Then, in model building, we develop and train our models using the prepared data, constantly iterating to improve their performance. This is where the magic of insights really begins. After that, we have model deployment, where we integrate these models into our business processes, whether for real-time decisions or batch processing, so they can start delivering value. Finally, model management involves monitoring, maintaining, and updating our models over time, ensuring they stay accurate and relevant as conditions change. Together, these stages form a continuous cycle, helping us turn data into actionable insights that drive smarter business decisions. On this slide, we're looking at the different roles within analytics, and how each contributes to the overall success of data-driven initiatives. Starting with the executive, their main role is to use insights to guide strategy and set the vision for the organization. They also allocate resources effectively and champion a culture that values data. Their leadership is crucial because it ensures that analytics efforts are aligned with broader business goals. Moving to the manager, their focus is more on the operational side. They coordinate projects, manage workflows, and make sure that the findings from data analyses are translated into practical strategies. These strategies are then aligned with the company's objectives, ensuring that insights lead to tangible actions. Finally, the analyst is the technical expert who handles the data directly. They collect and prepare the data, run detailed analyses, and transform results into actionable insights. They use statistics and visualization tools to make complex data understandable and useful for decision-making. Together, these roles form a cohesive team where each position plays a vital part in turning data into strategic advantage, reinforcing the importance of a collaborative, data-driven culture across the organization. Now, let's take a closer look at prescriptive analytics. This type of analytics goes a step beyond prediction by not only forecasting what might happen, but also recommending the best actions to take based on those insights. Essentially, it helps optimize decision-making to improve both efficiency and accuracy. Companies that combine predictive and prescriptive analytics often see significant gains, up to 20% in decision accuracy and efficiency. Moving on to predictive analytics, this involves using statistical models to forecast future outcomes and trends. It's about being proactive, allowing organizations to plan ahead and manage risks more effectively. Next, diagnostic analytics helps us understand the reasons behind events. It digs into the data to identify root causes and correlations, revealing patterns and anomalies that might not be immediately obvious. Then we have descriptive analytics, which summarizes historical data. This gives us a clear picture of what has happened in the past, helping us understand past performance and identify ongoing trends. Finally, these different types of analytics, descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive, form a comprehensive toolkit. They enable organizations to analyze data from multiple angles, ultimately driving smarter decisions and better outcomes. Now, let's look at the typical profit increase that companies see from leveraging advanced analytics across various industries. On average, we're talking about a boost of around 5 to 6%. This might not sound huge at first, but when you consider the scale of many businesses, this translates into significant revenue growth and improved profitability. What this really highlights is how powerful analytics can be in driving business value. By systematically analyzing data, organizations can uncover insights that lead to smarter decisions, optimized operations, and better customer engagement. This slide underscores the importance of integrating advanced analytics into your strategic initiatives. It's not just about collecting data, it's about harnessing it effectively to unlock tangible financial benefits. And as we've seen throughout this presentation, this kind of data-driven approach is essential for staying competitive in today's fast-paced, data-rich environment. Let's take a closer look at data foundations and business data types. This slide is really about understanding the building blocks of data that support all our analytics and decision-making. First, the concept of data foundations refers to the core structures, standards, and processes that ensure our data is reliable, consistent, and of high quality. Without a solid foundation, any analysis we do could be flawed or misleading. Next, we have to think about the different types of data that businesses work with. These include structured data, which is highly organized and easily searchable, like databases and spreadsheets. Then there's unstructured data, such as emails, social media posts, or videos, which require more effort to analyze but hold valuable insights. Recognizing these types helps us choose the right tools and techniques for managing and analyzing our data effectively. Connecting this to the overall theme, understanding these foundational elements and data types is crucial because they influence everything from data governance to how we derive value from our information. The better we grasp these concepts, the more confidently we can build data-driven strategies that truly support our business goals. When data is governed and reliable, teams can make more confident decisions and ultimately achieve measurable business improvements. Trusted data really drives impact because it forms the foundation for everything we do in analytics. Studies have shown that data quality problems can actually affect up to 40% of analytics projects, which can significantly limit the outcomes we're able to achieve. That's why quality issues are such a critical point. They reduce the value of our insights and can lead us astray. Without high-quality, trusted data, analytics can't produce reliable insights or guide us toward sound business decisions. Data truly is the foundation of effective analytics, and ensuring its quality is essential for making impactful, data-driven decisions that move the business forward. Now, let's talk about the business impact of using both data structures. When we combine qualitative and quantitative data, we're better equipped to answer complex questions, refine our strategies, and gain a deeper understanding of our customers. This integrated approach helps us make smarter decisions and tailor our offerings more effectively. Moving on to integration, blending these different data types allows for more thorough analysis. By doing so, we unlock insights that might be hidden if we only looked at one type of data. This leads to more actionable business decisions that can really drive growth and improve customer satisfaction. Speaking of data types, qualitative data includes descriptive information like customer feedback, product reviews, or survey responses. It gives us valuable context and helps us understand customer sentiment, how they feel about our products or services. On the other hand, quantitative data involves numerical figures such as sales numbers, website traffic, or conversion rates. This kind of data allows us to perform statistical analysis, identify trends, and build models to forecast future performance. Ultimately, understanding these data structures and how to leverage them is essential. It empowers us to make better, more informed decisions and to stay ahead in a competitive landscape. Let's talk about how combining different sources of data really enhances both the accuracy of our insights and the depth of understanding we can achieve. When we bring together multiple data streams, we get a much richer picture, which is especially important in hybrid environments that require robust data integration. For example, integrating data from sources like market research, social media signals, and third-party providers helps us add valuable context and benchmarks. This allows us to see not just internal metrics, but also how we stand in the broader market landscape. On the internal side, systems like ERP, CRM, and transactional databases capture critical operational data, everything from customer interactions to financial activities. These internal systems are essential because they provide the foundational data that drives many of our decision-making processes. Combining external sources with internal systems creates a comprehensive view, enabling smarter, more informed decisions. This approach is key to staying competitive and adapting quickly in today's complex business environment. Now, let's talk about data cleaning. This is all about detecting and correcting errors in our data, filling in missing values, and making sure that formats are consistent across different fields. Doing this raises the overall quality of our data, which is crucial for anything we do downstream. If our data isn't clean, any analysis we perform could be flawed or misleading. Next, we have validation. This step is about confirming that our data is correct and relevant before we dive into analysis. We use checks like range rules to make sure values are within expected limits, type constraints to verify data types, referential integrity to ensure relationships between data are maintained, and business logic tests to confirm that the data makes sense within our specific context. Why does all this matter? Well, organizations can spend up to 60% of their analytics time just on cleaning and validating data. That's a huge chunk, but it's essential. Investing time here ensures we produce trustworthy outcomes that our stakeholders can rely on. So, in summary, these core steps, cleaning and validation, are the foundation of trustworthy analytics. They help us turn raw data into reliable insights, which ultimately supports better decision-making. When we talk about ethical data use and privacy compliance, it's important to remember that transparency, consent, and security are more than just regulatory checkboxes. They form the very foundation of ethical analytics. By being transparent about how we collect and use data, we build trust with consumers, trust that their information is handled responsibly. Consent is equally crucial, making sure people understand what they're agreeing to and giving them control over their data. And of course, security isn't just a technical requirement. It's a way to protect sensitive information from breaches and misuse. Together, these principles help us create a trustworthy environment, which is essential not just for compliance with laws like GDPR and CCPA, but for fostering genuine consumer relationships. Ultimately, ethical data practices reinforce our commitment to integrity and respect, which are key to sustainable business success in today's data-driven world. Let's take a closer look at key business metrics and KPIs. These are essential tools for measuring our success and understanding how well we're performing against our goals. When we talk about KPIs, we're referring to specific indicators that tell us if we're on track, whether it's sales growth, customer retention, or operational efficiency. It's important to highlight that these metrics aren't just numbers. They tell a story about our business health and help us make informed decisions. For example, a rise in customer satisfaction scores might correlate with increased loyalty and revenue. Connecting this back to the overall theme of the presentation, tracking these key metrics allows us to stay aligned with our strategic objectives and quickly adapt to changing market conditions. By regularly reviewing our KPIs, we ensure we're working efficiently and effectively toward our long-term vision. Let's take a closer look at some key terms. Metrics and KPIs. Metrics are simply measurable data points that help us understand different aspects of our performance. Think of them as the building blocks of data that tell us what's happening in various areas of our organization. Now, KPIs, or key performance indicators, are a special subset of metrics. They are directly linked to our strategic goals, meaning they help us track how effectively we're moving toward what really matters for our success. Understanding the distinction between these two is crucial, because focusing on the right KPIs ensures we're aligning our efforts with our overall objectives. This connection is why KPIs are so important. Organizations that clearly define and monitor their KPIs tend to be more productive. They report about 12% higher productivity. So, by focusing on the right metrics and KPIs, we can better measure our progress, make informed decisions, and ultimately drive better results. This is all about making data work for us and ensuring our efforts are strategically aligned. Now, let's take a closer look at how different departments focus on selecting meaningful metrics. In operations, we track throughput, quality measures, and process efficiency. These metrics are essential because they directly influence performance and help us identify areas for continuous improvement. Moving to finance, the focus shifts to profitability, cost efficiency, and budget variance. These are critical for ensuring our financial health and resource optimization, helping us stay on track with our financial goals. In marketing, we concentrate on conversion rates, customer acquisition costs, and ROI. These metrics are vital for measuring how effective our campaigns are and understanding our growth potential. The key takeaway here is that each department tailors its metrics to what truly matters for their specific objectives. Selecting the right metrics allows us to make informed decisions and align our efforts with our overall strategic goals. This approach ensures we're measuring what truly drives success across the organization. Let's talk about the impact of using smart KPIs. When effectively implemented, they can actually improve your team's focus and help you achieve your goals up to 25% more efficiently. This is because they enable consistent monitoring, so you're always aware of where you stand and what needs attention. Next, the time-bound aspect is crucial. Setting a clear time frame for reaching your targets creates a sense of urgency. It also helps strengthen accountability within your team, making sure everyone is aligned and working towards the same deadline. Now, when we talk about being achievable and relevant, it's about setting targets that are realistic given your current constraints. You want goals that challenge you, but are still within reach. And it's equally important that these KPIs align with your overall priorities, so your efforts are meaningful and truly impactful. Finally, the specific and measurable criteria help ensure clarity. Define exactly what you're measuring and why it matters. Then, quantify your progress so you can track it objectively. This way, you always know whether you're on track or if adjustments are needed. Together, these SMART criteria create a powerful framework for developing effective KPIs that drive real results. Let's take a look at how different departments can leverage KPIs to drive improvements. In operations, monitoring cycle time and defect rates is critical. Case studies have shown that when organizations focus on these KPIs, they often see significant gains in efficiency and revenue. It's about identifying bottlenecks and quality issues early on. Moving to finance, using metrics like net profit margin and cash flow helps us understand the overall profitability and liquidity of the business. These indicators tell us whether we're generating enough profit and maintaining healthy cash positions. For marketing, tracking customer acquisition cost and lead conversion rate is essential. These KPIs help us connect our marketing spend directly to pipeline growth and revenue impact. Overall, these examples highlight how each department's KPIs are interconnected and vital for achieving strategic goals, reinforcing the importance of a KPI-driven approach across the organization. Let's start by talking about measurement overload. When every metric is considered critical, it actually dilutes the importance of any single one. This leads to blurred priorities, as teams tend to optimize locally rather than focusing on what truly moves the needle. Plus, reporting becomes a time sink, wasting valuable resources. The key here is to limit the KPIs to a small set of outcome-focused metrics, along with a few controllable drivers. Each should have a clear owner and a regular review schedule to keep things focused and actionable. Next, we often see vanity metrics, those high numbers like raw traffic, followers, or downloads, that look impressive but don't necessarily translate into real value. These can be misleading because they give a false sense of progress while actual impact stagnates. Instead, replace them with decision grade measures that are directly tied to outcomes, such as conversion rates, retention, profit margins, or time to value. Segment these metrics by cohorts to uncover genuine movement and insights. Moving on, irrelevant or unmeasurable indicators are another common pitfall. If a KPI isn't linked to your strategy or doesn't have a clear, stable definition, it just sparks debate rather than alignment. To fix this, document the metric's definition, its formula, scope, and source system, and set clear thresholds or targets. It's also important to verify that teams can actually influence the metric so that efforts are focused on what really matters. Finally, ignoring data quality is a critical mistake. Garbage in, garbage out applies here. If your data is incomplete, delayed, or inconsistent, you'll see false trends and misallocate resources. Prevent this by implementing quality checks for data freshness, completeness, and duplicates. Reconcile your data with source of truth systems and establish explicit trust tiers for your dashboards so everyone knows which reports are reliable. Overall, organizations that steer clear of these pitfalls tend to see a much higher ROI from their analytics. They focus on a small set of trusted, strategy-linked signals rather than getting lost in noisy or irrelevant data. That's the power of effective measurement. Now, let's talk about data analysis for business decision-making. This slide highlights how crucial data analysis is in making informed business choices. By examining relevant data, we can uncover patterns, trends, and insights that might not be obvious at first glance. These insights help us to make smarter, evidence-based decisions rather than relying on intuition alone. It's about turning raw data into meaningful information that guides strategy and operations. This process connects directly to our overall theme of leveraging data to gain a competitive edge. Effective data analysis enables us to identify opportunities, optimize processes, and mitigate risks. So, mastering these analytical techniques is essential for anyone looking to make impactful business decisions. Let's start by talking about descriptive statistics. This involves summarizing the distributions of our data using measures like the mean and median. These help us get a quick sense of the central tendency and overall spread of the data. Next, we have correlation analysis. This is all about identifying the relationships between different variables. It helps us understand whether variables move together and in which direction, whether positively or negatively correlated. Finally, we look at basic regression modeling. This technique allows us to estimate the effects of one or more variables on an outcome. It's a powerful tool for supporting evidence-based operational decisions, helping us predict and optimize future performance. Together, these fundamental data analysis techniques form the backbone of understanding and leveraging data effectively in our decision-making processes. All right, let's talk about the role of exploratory data analysis, or EDA. As we move through the data pipeline, EDA is a crucial step that helps us understand what we're working with. It all starts with collecting the data and defining the context, so we know what key characteristics to focus on. Once we have that foundation, we move to cleaning the data, spotting anomalies and issues early on, which ensures our modeling efforts are built on solid ground. Next, visualization becomes a powerful tool. Using visual methods allows us to uncover patterns, trends, and test hypotheses in a more intuitive way. And finally, the interpret and iterate phase is where we verify our assumptions. By doing robust exploratory data analysis at this stage, we can reduce downstream errors by about 30%. This step is all about refining our understanding, making sure our models are based on accurate insights, and continuously improving our approach. So, in essence, EDA isn't just a preliminary step. It's an ongoing, iterative process that significantly enhances the quality and reliability of our data-driven decisions. Now, let's talk about turning anomalies into valuable insights. The key here is understanding what causes these anomalies and reflecting that understanding appropriately in our forecasts. When we identify outliers, it's important not just to ignore them, but to explain and incorporate them into our analysis. We can use statistical tests and visualization techniques to help us isolate repeating cycles that might be impacting performance. Recognizing these patterns allows us to better understand the underlying factors at play. Next, surface seasonal patterns. These are predictable fluctuations that happen at regular intervals, like yearly or quarterly cycles, and recognizing them helps us anticipate changes in demand. We also need to track sustained changes over time, which can signal shifts in the market or customer behavior. By doing this, we can proactively adjust our strategies to stay ahead. Finally, detecting long-term trends is crucial. Identifying these trends, along with patterns and outliers, gives us a comprehensive view of where we're headed, enabling more accurate forecasting and better decision-making. This overall approach helps us turn data into actionable insights, aligning with our goal of strategic, informed planning. Let's start by talking about hypothesis testing. This is a powerful tool for checking assumptions and making decisions based on data. Basically, it helps us compare groups or measure the impact of changes to see what really works. You'll find it especially useful in areas like A/B testing, where you're comparing two versions, process improvements to see if they're effective, or marketing campaigns to evaluate their success. It's all about making data-driven choices rather than relying on gut feelings. Next, we have histograms. These are fantastic for visualizing how data is distributed. They help us quickly spot patterns, outliers, or trends in the data. For example, if you want to understand how often customers make purchases or how frequently products have defects, histograms give you a clear picture of that distribution. It's an intuitive way to grasp the big picture at a glance. Then we look at pivot tables. These are incredibly useful for summarizing and analyzing large datasets efficiently. With pivot tables, you can group data in different ways and aggregate it to uncover insights. They're commonly used for generating sales reports, analyzing expenses, or identifying trends over time. Essentially, they turn complex data into understandable summaries that support better decision-making. Finally, these simple statistical tools, hypothesis testing, histograms, and pivot tables, are fundamental for business analysis. They empower us to interpret data accurately, identify opportunities, and make informed decisions that drive success. They're simple but incredibly effective in helping us understand what the data is telling us and how we can leverage that knowledge. Now that we've analyzed the data, the next critical step is turning those findings into actionable decisions. The ultimate goal here is to drive real, measurable improvements in the business. It's not just about reporting numbers. It's about connecting what the data reveals to what the business actually needs to succeed. To do this effectively, we need to synthesize the results with the broader business context, prioritize our recommendations based on their potential impact and feasibility, and develop a clear communication plan. This way, everyone involved knows what steps to take next and understands why those steps matter. And it's important to emphasize linking analytics directly to tangible outcomes. High-performing organizations don't just analyze data. They tie insights to real results and continuously monitor performance after implementing changes. This helps confirm the value of the actions taken, allows for ongoing refinement, and ensures that improvements are sustained over time. So, turning analysis into action isn't just a step. It's the bridge that connects insights to meaningful business success. Let's talk about data visualization principles. When it comes to creating effective visualizations, there are a few key points to keep in mind. First, clarity is crucial. Your goal is to make the data easy to understand at a glance. Second, simplicity often wins. Avoid clutter and focus on the most important information. Third, consistency helps viewers interpret the data correctly, so use uniform colors, scales, and formats throughout. Fourth, always consider your audience. What do they need to see, and how can you make it most accessible for them? And finally, remember that choosing the right type of chart or graph is essential to accurately represent your data and tell the right story. These principles tie back to the overall theme of making data meaningful and actionable through thoughtful visualization. Why it matters is the focus here. Visualization really transforms complex data into clear, intuitive graphics. This makes it much easier for us to understand the information quickly and communicate our insights more effectively. When we see data visually, it speeds up our comprehension and helps us share findings more clearly with others. Moving on to measurable impact, research shows that using dashboards and visuals can actually improve decision-making speed by about 28% and decision accuracy by roughly 19%. That's a significant boost that can make a real difference in how we work. Finally, let's talk about patterns and storytelling. Visuals are powerful tools for recognizing trends, outliers, and comparisons. They support pattern recognition and help teams craft a coherent business story. When we connect the dots visually, it's much easier to tell a compelling story from the data, highlighting what's important and making our insights more persuasive. Overall, effective visualization isn't just about pretty pictures. It's about making data work better for us, faster, clearer, and more impactful. Now, let's talk about some key principles of data visualization that can really make a difference. First, relevance is crucial. You want to highlight the most important insights and tailor your visuals to meet your audience's specific needs. This helps keep their focus on what truly matters. Next is accuracy. It's essential to represent data truthfully. Using appropriate scales and avoiding misleading visuals ensures your audience can trust the information you're presenting. Then there's simplicity. We should remove unnecessary elements and focus only on the essential information. This prevents overwhelming viewers and keeps the message clear and straightforward. Finally, clarity. Make sure your visuals are easy to interpret and communicate the intended message without any ambiguity. Clear visuals help your audience grasp the insights quickly and accurately. Together, these principles, relevance, accuracy, simplicity, and clarity, are fundamental to effective data visualization and support the overall goal of impactful storytelling. When choosing how to visualize your data, the best practice is to align your visualization choice with the analytical goal you want your audience to see. Always aim for clarity. Make it easy for your audience to understand the story you're telling. Familiar chart types, like line charts, bar charts, and scatter plots, help improve communication and keep the focus on the key takeaway. Support your story by selecting the right chart for the message. For example, use line charts to show trends over time, bar charts to compare categories, and scatter plots to reveal correlations. It's all about matching the relationship you want to highlight with the most effective chart type. By doing this, you ensure your visuals truly support your analysis and make your insights clear and compelling. When using color in your visuals, remember that it should guide attention, not just serve as decoration. Highlight key comparisons or outliers with color sparingly, so these elements stand out clearly. Keep the rest of the chart neutral to ensure that the emphasis remains meaningful and not lost amidst unnecessary color. Clarity is essential, so always include explicit labels, readable legends, and well-defined scales. Ambiguity around units or categories can quickly erode trust, so be precise. Accessibility is also crucial. Use colorblind-friendly palettes and avoid relying on color alone. Pair hues with direct labels or patterns when needed, so everyone can interpret the data accurately. Strong design choices like these enhance interpretability and, ultimately, increase confidence in the story your visuals communicate. Remember, effective use of color and clarity makes your insights more compelling and trustworthy. Remember, a misleading chart can do more damage than no chart at all. When we create visualizations, it's not just about making data look appealing. It's about accurately representing the story the data tells. A poorly designed chart can mislead viewers, cause misunderstandings, or even influence decisions based on incorrect impressions. That's why it's so important to follow visualization best practices: clarity, honesty, and simplicity. By doing so, we ensure our charts support our message effectively, rather than distort it. This ties back to our overall goal: communicating data clearly and ethically so our audience can trust and act on what they see. Building effective dashboards is all about clarity and focus. When designing a dashboard, you want to make sure that the most important information is front and center, easy to understand at a glance. Think about your audience. What do they need to see first? What insights will help them make decisions quickly? Highlight key metrics and trends, but avoid cluttering the view with unnecessary details. Use visual elements like charts and graphs strategically to tell a story with your data. Consistency in colors and layout also helps users navigate the dashboard effortlessly. Remember, a well-crafted dashboard isn't just about displaying data. It's about providing actionable insights that support your overall goals. When you keep these principles in mind, you'll build dashboards that are not only effective, but also empower users to act confidently. Now, let's explore some key principles for effective dashboard design. First, real-time updates are crucial. Keeping data current allows us to make timely and accurate decisions while also reducing latency. This means we get the information we need exactly when we need it. Next, minimalism plays a big role. By reducing visual clutter and focusing only on essential elements, we enable faster and clearer interpretation of the data. In fact, good design, which emphasizes simplicity, has been shown to lower decision latency by around 40%. Then there's KPI prioritization. Highlighting the most critical metrics ensures we stay focused on what truly matters for decision-making. It helps prevent us from getting distracted by less important data. Logical layout is also vital. Organizing information in a way that aligns with user workflows and expectations makes navigation intuitive and efficient. When the layout matches how users think, it speeds up understanding and action. Finally, effective dashboards strike a balance between simplicity and comprehensiveness. They need to be straightforward enough to support rapid decisions, but also detailed enough to provide the necessary insights. When these design fundamentals come together, they create dashboards that truly empower users to act quickly and confidently. Let's look at some compelling evidence from case studies. They show that when dashboards are aligned with strategic goals, we see stronger executive engagement and better coordination across different functions. This alignment really helps everyone stay on the same page and work together more effectively. Proven impact is a key point here. When reporting is aligned with clear objectives, it transforms from just data presentation into actionable insights. It clarifies what we should be watching, why it matters, and what steps to take next. This turns information into real strategic action. Now, for dashboards to be truly meaningful, the metrics we include need to directly connect to our business priorities and decision-making needs. If they don't, then they're just numbers on a screen. When metrics map clearly to what matters most, decision-makers can act with confidence and precision. And that's why aligning dashboards with objectives is so crucial. It ensures that every metric and insight supports our strategic goals, making our reporting not just informative, but truly impactful. This alignment is fundamental to turning data into strategic advantage. Let's take a look at some of the essential dashboard components that make data analysis effective. First, alerts are crucial because they notify users of significant changes or when certain thresholds are met. The key here is to tailor these alerts based on user roles and the importance of the data, so the right people get timely notifications about what matters most. Next, we have filters, which are incredibly powerful for customizing views and diving deeper into specific data sets. Interactive filters not only help users find exactly what they need, but also significantly boost adoption, by over 50%, in fact, because they make the experience more engaging and tailored. Then there are trend and comparative visualizations. These tools help us see how metrics change over time and enable us to compare different categories, periods, or segments. They're vital for understanding patterns and making informed decisions. Finally, KPIs, or key performance indicators, give us quick insights into the overall health of the business. They provide immediate, at-a-glance information so stakeholders can assess performance without sifting through tons of data. Together, these components form the backbone of an effective dashboard, helping users stay informed, analyze data efficiently, and make smarter decisions. Let's take a closer look at the trend we're seeing in dashboard usage today. There's a growing preference for interactive dashboards, and this shift is driven by the increasing demand for agility and the need for deeper insights. People want to explore data more freely, rather than just viewing static reports. When it comes to reporting, static dashboards still play an important role, especially for routine and standardized reports. They're great for providing a consistent snapshot of key metrics. However, for more dynamic ad hoc analysis, interactive dashboards really shine because they allow users to dig deeper and explore data on the fly. Customization is another key point. Interactive dashboards give users the ability to personalize their views and select the metrics that matter most to them. In contrast, static dashboards have fixed layouts and metrics, which can limit flexibility but are simpler to set up. Finally, user engagement is significantly higher with interactive dashboards. Features like drill-down options and filters encourage users to interact with the data and find insights themselves. Static dashboards, on the other hand, mainly serve as snapshots, useful, but with limited opportunities for engagement. Overall, this comparison highlights how interactive dashboards align more closely with the needs for agility and deeper understanding in today's data-driven environment. Market reports continue to show that adoption of self-service buy tools is on the rise. This trend is largely driven by the fact that these tools are becoming more user-friendly, making it easier for people to access and analyze data without needing advanced technical skills. At the same time, they enable faster insight delivery, helping organizations make decisions more quickly and confidently. You'll notice that popular tools like Tableau, Power BI, Qlik, and Looker are leading the way. They offer a range of functionalities, from simple drag-and-drop analytics to more complex integrations, which means they can cater to both casual users and data professionals. Overall, this growth in self-service buy is a clear sign that organizations are recognizing the value of empowering more people within their teams to work with data directly. It's all about making data accessible, actionable, and integrated into daily decision-making processes. Now, let's wrap up with some key takeaways. First, insights really do create business value. By applying analytics, we can turn raw data into clear recommendations that help us improve outcomes and make smarter decisions. It's about transforming information into actionable insights. Next, dashboards are essential tools for enabling action. When designed well, they allow us to monitor performance, surface important trends, and support us in making timely, informed decisions. A good dashboard doesn't just show data, it guides us toward the next steps. Visualization also plays a crucial role. Purposeful charts help clarify complex information, reducing confusion and highlighting what truly matters for stakeholders. The goal is to make data understandable at a glance. Finally, building solid core metrics and establishing strong data foundations are fundamental. Reliable insights come from clear definitions, high-quality data, and consistent measurement. Without that, our analysis can be misleading or unreliable. So, in summary, the power of analytics lies in turning data into value, creating actionable dashboards, visualizing effectively, and ensuring our metrics are grounded in quality data. All of these elements work together to support informed, confident decision-making.